Hey everybody, Dana here again. Welcome back to Tuesday Tips for Leaders of Volunteers. And today, talking about experience versus training, both for leaders of volunteers ourselves and the many paths to expertise, plus a culture among your volunteers of does someone have kind of higher status or is considered better, or is there some sort of high school cliquish pecking order based on whether someone has a certain kind of training as a volunteer or is in a certain role as a volunteer, and what does that mean for the culture of your volunteer program and for the agency? So this is something that I've dealt with a lot in my career, personally and professionally, and also just along again, what is that path to expertise, and kind of book learning versus street smarts is another way to think about it. And there's something, especially working a lot with conservation and animal welfare agencies, as I have over the years, where there's kind of docent lore. So those kind of agencies, conservation agencies or zoos or aquariums or museums where docent is a role, tends to have, as it should, very intensive training that's takes a long time. There might be an expense to it, and it really isn't a major accomplishment to get through docent training or some other kind of very specialized role training that requires a lot of knowledge, and that's worth celebrating. It's also necessary to balance expertise that's done through a course, training, degree program, certification with real world experience. So kind of a classic example from media is the television or movie trope where there's a fresh lieutenant just out of officers academy who gets thrown into a unit, and everyone else there, the sergeants and the non-commissioned officers, have been doing this for years and they know how it's done. So that's kind of a stereotype of the green expert coming in as an officer or high status person to tell people what to do who've already been doing it for a long time. And that dynamic can occur not just in our employee teams in our offices with other paid staff, but that can actually come up a lot in volunteer talent pools and volunteer programs where there's a sense of either I've been here a long time, which again needs to be valued as a founder or a volunteer who's been with the agency for many, many years or decades, that their experience matters. And someone being trained as a specialist or going through a very difficult training like a docent training or working with kids and family training or special certification, that has value as well. They are not mutually exclusive. Ideally, we have volunteers who are with us for a long, long time who have a nice balance of always wanting to learn and professionally develop in their skills, in their role, and get offered leadership opportunities in their skills and their role volunteering with you, with folks who are quite happy with what they're doing and where they're going. So if you can cultivate an attitude within the culture of the agency that we're always learning from each other all of the time, that's such a valuable cultural shift or core value to have, that we're always learning from each other. There's always more for us to learn, whether we've been here for 30 years or 50 years with the agency, or whether we've just come to the agency, but there's an alphabet soup of graduate degrees and certifications after our name. I have a CVA. That's a great thing to have as a leader of volunteers. There's other ways to get to expertise as well with experience. I like the CVA, you can see over my shoulder, because it's not a class you take. It's a culmination of testing how you've done in street smarts throughout your career, and some real knowledge and some real situations. And it's also very common to have those of us in this profession who have master's degree in public administration or organizational management or bachelor's degree, or come up without going to college through AmeriCorps, from teens and 20-year-olds coming up through that system of experience. So let's embrace this very, very rich and diverse tapestry of skills, experience, and knowledge, and have the curiosity and humility to understand that there's a lot of roads to becoming an expert, and to really value the different skills and experience and knowledge that we all bring, because there's always more to learn. I hope you've enjoyed this week's Tuesday Tips, and let me know if you'd like to share some of your own Tuesday Tips and be featured on this channel. I'm always looking to hear from new experts and feature many new people and voices for priceless advice in Tuesday Tips.